Hello everyone, and welcome to the High Note. We are so excited to have you all here. We have people in the house from all around the world. So maybe we can just take a minute to absorb that we are all taking 30 minutes of our Saturday to be together and to try to bring some good vibes into our own lives and into the world. So I just want to say it's very meaningful to me that you all are here and that we can share this time together. And if it's your first time joining the High Note, I always like to say that, we call this a time of uplift and we call it a time of good vibes and, collective healing and good energy. But I also want to invite you to feel anything you need to feel in these next 30 minutes. And that could mean that you need to cry, could mean that you need to laugh. I just want to invite you to express yourself however feels best for you right now. Just an invitation to feel whatever you need to feel right now. And what we collectively as a group of the High Note participants you're going to meet in a few moments, what we thought we would want to focus on today is a vote for the self, which sounds a little bit odd at first because we're thinking a lot about elections right now. For some of you who are not in the US is very much thinking about voting and elections at the moment. But when we think about voting here, I think a lot of times that means voting for someone else, someone outside of ourselves, casting a ballot for someone else and maybe the actions that they would take. But for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to invite us to kind of contradict that thinking a little bit and focus instead on how we can cast a ballot for ourselves. And I read a quote this week that really, I've got the goosebumps actually, that made me think about what we were going to be covering together today. What if our healing journey is the path home to ourselves? And of course, in this time of the world, we're also thinking a lot about healing and overcoming a lot of the pain and the struggle that are happening right now. So, what if it involves just coming into our own bodies, our own creativity, our own voice, our own needs and well being, coming home to ourselves? Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping, home, where my music's playing, home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. So thank you all for taking a minute for yourselves today. And I invite you again to just think about how, even in small ways, you can come home to yourself every day of our lives. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Naila Francis, who is an incredible writer, just a woman who always inspires me when she speaks. She's a grief to gratitude coach, an ordained interfaith minister, and has the most eloquent way of expressing herself. Naila, please feel free to take the mic.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you for that beautiful reminder of homecoming and why it's so important, especially at a time like this. As always, it is really an honor and a joy to be here with all of you. And I was thinking this morning, reflecting on the theme that we had chosen for this month's High Note, just about softening and how can I be soft with myself in this moment. Soft eyes, soft body, soft heart, because it's so hard to think about self care and to access what we may need for that when we're so rigid and constricted and maybe clenched in all the other emotions that this time is stirring up. So, this is your invitation to soften. And I just want to invite you to make yourself comfortable right now and just take a moment to notice where you are in physical space, the room that you're in, where you're seated, to just give yourself a moment to arrive more fully here. and to settle in. You may want to feel your feet on the floor, your sits bones in your chair, whatever's supporting your spine. Just let yourself connect to this physical space in this moment. And if you feel comfortable doing so, I invite you to gently close your eyes or just soften your gaze and begin to tune in within to the sensations in your body, just noticing, being present to any tension or tightness, discomfort, warmth or coolness or tingling. Just allowing yourself to be with what's there and to come home to the body. And then to slowly begin to relax by taking a few deep cleansing breaths. Letting each breath relax you a little more as you feel your belly expanding on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. Letting each breath open you up a little more to the moment, to being here right now. Each breath a gift of kindness, of nourishment to your body. Now I invite you to bring your hand to your heart. Feel its warmth beneath your fingers. Just notice what it's like to rest your hand on your heart with loving intention. And with your hand on your heart, can you allow yourself to listen? To listen to the hum, that steady beat that keeps your truth. That voice that is a homecoming, a knowing, an honest invitation. Can you let yourself breathe here? Slow, luxurious breaths. And with every breath, allow yourself to settle a little deeper into the seat of your heart, the seat of your wisdom, the seat of love, calling you to commune with yourself. And from this place, from that deep listening, ask yourself, what am I longing for in this moment? What have I been too tired, too busy, too afraid to give myself? What would it look like to put down everything that isn't filling me up right now, to tune out the noise of the world, the clamor of expectations, to choose me? Here in this moment, where you are the altar and the invocation, one word enough to spark a flame. Strike the bell of your being with this cascading note. You are worth it, worthy, because you are here. And here is an ode for returning, repair, whatever the promise you've broken, wherever the path you've strayed. The way remains, will carry you always to your animal softness. Uncurl the slow, wanting creature of you on a sweet, forgiving breath. What does this body need? How will you soothe this self? Here in the seat of your heart, the oldest ancestor speaks, calls herself love, gathers your bones, your hunger, hums until you hear your voice in the chorus, see your face in her light. You belong here, deep within this blessing. Bow to joy, healing, revival, peace. Take what you need. Practice benevolence, putting yourself first. Your own bright fantasy, fresh picked bloom, ballot or ballad, your voice billowing. You, the choice, beloved, is you. So you may wish to take a few more moments to linger here if you need them and are still reflecting on what you'd like to give yourself. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.
Naila, I always find it hard to find any words after your incredible words. Thank you for that gift. And I'd like to now introduce Jennifer Blaine, who is a real Renaissance woman who some of you may have seen as a performer, a comedian. She's shared the stage with so many luminaries, and she also works one-on-one with people around the world to help spark their own creativity and fulfillment. So Jennifer Blaine, if you could share your perspective and wisdom with us, we would appreciate it.
Good to be with you, friends. Good to see you all again. My share today is somewhat confessional. Like some of us, I've been in pain lately. For you, maybe it's the state of the world or grief about something precious that you've lost. Or maybe for you, like me, it's something physical. And I just thought I would speak to that because when we can share about something that's tender and difficult, we can shed some shame and embarrassment, and really that just helps heal all of us. So I hope by my sharing my process about attending to my pain, I can illuminate something for you. So what's my pain? I've had this long-standing foot problem for years. 4 years. I've had a bone in my foot that has not properly healed. And after exhausting a lot of options, I made a commitment that I was going to really take care of myself by undergoing a stem cell procedure. And the doctor told me it's going to take a while before we know if it works or not. And in my mind, that meant 3 days, not 10 days, which is what it took for me to just feel okay. And apparently it's going to take 2 months to know if this route actually is even helping. But after 3 days, because that's my timeline, I thought I'm not supposed to have this problem anymore. And by thinking that way, I keep myself stuck. So what I want to share with you is what I've actually learned from facing into my pain and the process. What I've learned is that self-care is acceptance and not judging. And self-care is not pushing. And even sometimes it's slowing down. So when we're judging, we may be thinking something like, I should be better, I should be farther along. But what I've noticed is that it feels a lot better for me to say to myself, I'm healing. We're all healing. And to slow down is actually a form of accomplishing things. Because in my mind, I was thinking if I'm slowing down, I'm not getting anything done. But actually slowing down is accomplishing also. And in fact, by slowing down, when I shifted out of, okay, this isn't going to take 3 days, this is going to take 10 days, or this is going to take 2 months, what I discovered are these 2 questions that I want to give to you that are really helping me tune in and better assist myself. And here are the 2 questions. The 2 questions are, what is my body asking for now? And the second question is, what is my spirit asking for now? So for the first one, what is my body asking for now? Last week, my body said no to yoga, no. And this week, my body said yes to yoga. And for the second question, what is my spirit asking for now? I just want to tell you a little story. I've been writing a musical for the past few months. And that's what I chose to do during pandemic. I chose to go as internally as I could to find my creative energy and engage it. And so I now have a musical and I wanted to do a virtual performance. I'm thinking I'll do it in December. And I hope you all will come. And I knew I needed some kind of co-producer. So someone referred me to a professional stage manager, and I wrote to them and they did not return my call. And so I was waiting. And then, this may seem like a tangent, but it's not. I had some spicy peppers from a local farm and they were really too spicy for me. So I thought, okay, who would like these? Who should I give these to? And immediately my friend Jasmine popped into my mind. And I asked her if she wanted them. She said yes. And while handing them to her, she told me that she's now producing online content and is launching shows virtually. So I told her about my project and she asked to read it. And now she's going to co-produce my musical with me. So I guess the moral of that story is let peppers guide you. But really this question, what does my spirit need right now? And that sometimes we don't even get the right answer or the right path initially. But what does my spirit need now is slowly unfolding for us. And my outcome is actually better than working with someone I don't know who didn't get back to me. So when we're in our pain, if we use these 2 questions, they can really open up some brand new terrain for us. So keep listening to where spirit is guiding you. Even in our pain. And in closing, I just want to say, sometimes if things don't work out, I sometimes say this or something better. And really let yourself have that organic process to care for your physical self, whatever is the cause of your anguish, and let your creative fulfillment really assist you, because that's a big part of our healing, our creativity. So if you want to practice this, you can use the 2 questions, and you could also ask yourself, what is the one thing you can do or give to care for yourself? And thanks so much.
Jennifer, thank you so much for that wisdom. I was furiously typing your amazing sound bites of knowledge into the chat just to try to capture them, because there was so much brilliance there that I want to remember. And those 2 questions, I think, are such a great check-in that we can use. I know this past week, I just felt like I was running all week. And if I had those questions, even just for 5 minutes to check in with what my body and spirit needed, I'm sure it would have given me that breath. And hopefully that those questions will be great for some of you to have in your pockets going forward. So thank you. And now I am so excited and pleased to welcome Ursula Rucker to the High Note. And Ursula is, I'm sure many of you are familiar with her incredible poetry. She has performed all around the world. Of course, Philly claims her as a hometown gal, and so excited to have her voice as part of this afternoon event. So Ursula, please share with us.
Thank you, Karen, Naila, Jennifer. I needed this so much. I was definitely feeling some anxiousness. My Wi-Fi wasn't working, right? That freaks us all out right now while we all need it so much. So yeah, you know, Naila, when you were speaking, everyone, all of you, thank you. So we hold each other up. Let's continue. So you can't vote for yourself unless you are able to show yourself some grace. So voting for oneself includes and requires showing oneself grace and mercy, okay? So in a moment when I wasn't really showing myself too much grace and mercy last week, I was blessedly able to get out the fact that I knew I needed to show myself some grace and mercy. And I wrote this. Shall I write or say something new about grace? What is grace? What is grace to me? What is grace to you? Is grace peace? Yes. Is grace love? Yes. Is grace truth? Yes, all of it. Is grace kindness? Sometimes. Is grace compassion? Well, grace can be compassionate, yes. Can grace be disgraceful? Never. That would be a cosmic anomaly / inconsistency. But aren't we living through a profound moment of cosmic anomalies / inconsistencies? I don't know. Are we? Regardless, grace maintains its position. You maintaining yours? Do you even know what your position is? Maybe your position is to, in all things, act, speak, think, and move with grace. But what is grace again? Okay, let's start over and over and over and over with grace till it is reached, till it is said, till it is made, till it is remembered, till it is done with grace. Don't forget to show yourself some grace today, okay? And don't forget to show others grace as well. Peace, one love. So guess what? There's another treat coming. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. How can you stand all these amazing, beautiful things that are happening right now in this virtual moment? Tim Motzer, a sound scientist, you know, a sound frequency alchemist, is about to just bless you with, well, some sound frequency alchemy healing. Enjoy. Tim Motzer.
Thank you, Tim. That was
Wow.
mesmerizing. And I chose in that moment to just watch your fingers dancing over the keys, excuse me. I'm a piano player, obviously, the strings. It was just remarkable. And I thought it would be really nice just to hear from Tim what inspires him as an improviser, because I feel like in this moment in history, we are all improvising every day with the great unknown, with unprecedented circumstances. And I thought Tim could shed some light on how he approaches improvisation and almost walking into that unknown and that fear. And, well, I should say my fear of the unknown. Maybe others don't feel that way. But so, Tim, could you just tell us how you approach improvisation?
Well, I could talk about that for hours and days probably, but I've been improvising for a long time. And, it's beginning. I think some of us that are musicians have a feel for creating something. You start with a C major chord and you kind of go from there. And you make up little things, little ditties. And over the years, this has expanded greatly into improvising with dancers and improvising with bands and things like this. And some of the things that I found about improvisation that's very interesting is that I feel that it's very difficult. Inside, you never really feel comfortable. I never feel comfortable anyway, because you're in new territory. You don't know what's happening really. And I liken it to like a walk in a strange forest that you've never been in, perhaps, or swimming under the sea, and snorkeling and just, wow, you're turning over rocks and finding amazing things. And it's kind of like that kind of a journey musically for me. It's um, flying through a landscape. There's lots of colors and lots of things that show up as you keep going. So that's
really interesting.
that's part of it, in a way. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that you just said that you never quite feel comfortable. And I have to say, as I'm hosting this, as we're all doing this, I'm like, am I doing it right? Da 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 da. And I think what you've taught me as I've known you is that to not worry about everything feeling perfect and comfortable all the time. How have you sort of embraced, and Jennifer was kind of talking about this as well, embrace that discomfort and try to almost keep going?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a discomfort in a way, but it's a challenge. And making music could be a metaphor for many things. But I think just continuing. We're trying to make the plane take off. We're going down a pathway or a runway, and it might be a bumpy runway for a while, and you might not be taking off initially. And so I think we have to give ourselves time and patience and breath, because you will take off eventually, or if you're swimming in the sea, you keep going deeper and deeper and go, wow, there's something amazing, so you just have to have patience, and you'll definitely get there. That's what I found.
I love that. And I'm reminded of Ursula's vision of grace, giving ourselves
Yeah.
grace as we navigate that bumpy runway.
Yeah.
Tim, I might also just want you to mention that, or I'd like to bring up and mention that I'm sitting in front of, and literally I'm sitting on a bed in front of one of Tim's amazing paintings. So Tim is a multidisciplinary creator and improviser. Tim, can you tell us a little bit about the improv you do in the visual arts as well?
Well, a long time ago, Ursula and I used to tour together all the time for, decades, it seems like. And we had amazing times doing that. And I would come back from tours and my ears would be pretty much shot because we would play very loud on stage and just done, So, but I still wanted to do creative stuff. And my next door neighbor gave me all his paints one year. And so I started painting immediately, and I didn't have to play music to come to a similar expression. And I feel like my paintings, to some degree, reflect what I do musically. And so that's textural and landscape and very abstract also. So I love color, and I like working with all those mediums, and they just kind of go back and forth between music and painting.
Thank you so much, Tim. I hope hearing Tim's music and learning about his artwork is an invitation for all of us to follow our muse, walk that path in the forest into the unknown. And as we kind of conclude this high note, which went way too fast, I would like to invite anyone who's joining us to share anything that they created during Tim's improvisational moment. I love that. Teresa just shared, I realized I hadn't been listening to enough peaceful music during this pandemic. She shared, I realized I hadn't been listening to enough peaceful music during this pandemic. I love that. And I couldn't agree more that music can be such a form of self-care. And what kind of music specifically you're listening to makes a difference. And Tim Motzer's music, should you want to hear more of that and discover his catalog, is available at 1krecordings.com. That's the number 1, the letter K, recordings.com. And of course, everyone you've heard from today has websites, Instagram. Naila is This Hallowed Wilderness. Ursula Rucker, you can find all over. And same with Jennifer. So feel free to look them up for more info on everything that they do. Ursula, yes, jump in.
I love, I write haikus all the time, but I love them all, but some of them I love extra. And so anyway, I love this one extra. And it was inspired by Tim's beautiful playing and the beautifulness of this whole experience. There's a beautiful rainbow stretched across the sky somewhere just for me. There's a beautiful rainbow stretched across the sky somewhere just for me. Thank you.
Oh, that's really nice.
It says Grace. I don't know if this is backwards or not, but the
No, we can see
music
it.
just had such a beautiful flow.
I am so blown away by that, you doing that. Yeah, we just want to thank you all for being with us. I want to thank all of the incredible guides of the High Note for sharing such incredible, profound wisdom and beauty and light with us and with the world. I feel the reverberations, and I know for days and weeks, feel the reverberations from this event. So thank you all. We hope we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining the High Note.
Thank you.
No, I don't want to go. Vote for you and vote for Grace for yourself.
Amen. Talk to you all later.
Peace.
Bye. Have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.